Well, well, that's kind of weird. All right, so I have two webcams, and like I have like one on top of the other, and like so I was like testing this in the studio, and for some reason, when I upload this video, it wants to reset it back to my other webcam. But if I go and I do like another video, then it puts it on the other webcam. So I don't like the shittier webcam. Hold on a second. This is making me angry. Like, that's like not. It's so funny. Oh my god, this makes me so mad. I'm just like, what the fuck? Okay, so, huh, grainy like VHS like 1993 quality. Like, what is wrong? Yeah. So I was gonna talk with my nice HD camera that doesn't do this to me. But so I have a few things I want to talk about that I've noticed. And I've been wanting to actually talk about this for a while. And it's because I'm a huge fan of a lot of things in the industry, but mostly because I'm a fan of these people. I'm kind of what you would call a fangirl, maybe a fanatic, um, when it comes to certain things. So I was born in '88 and I grew up in the early '90s. So I have watched all the early '90s movies. And when I was a little girl, I watched Macaulay Culkin, and I had a huge crush on him. I mean, what a little girl didn't back then. I would think it'd be kind of funny if somebody didn't, you know. But anyways, so recently, from what I understand, he's going to come out and he's going to say things about his relationship with Michael Jackson. And what I have to say about that is that I literally knew that this was going to happen. Like, it's predictable. The scenario by now, you know, it's kind of funny. Oh, my hair. I've had it up all day. But, that, and then, recently with like R. Kelly and like, his thing with basically, where did that go? I dropped my hairpin. But so it's like all this has been predictable, and then like I say like a lot. I'm sorry, kind of like a West Coast thing. So anyways, it's not surprising to me, at least, as somebody who has been watching this. But I want to know what you think. I want to know what you all think about this because I have a lot of thoughts on it, and I see people making videos, on things about this, and they're not even really, I would say, speculating. I wouldn't say that they're speculating like at all. I would say they're more like hypothesizing, because they're gathering evidence and they're trying to have a conclusive answer in their theory. Uh, I mean, that's how science works, right? But anyway, um, so I mean, everything you know, words are very powerful, okay? Which is kind of my point, and that's why I wanted to talk about theater. Because back in the day, theater was a way for people to portray the way that they felt about something poetically most of the time. And I want to say most of the time because there were some times where people were punished for their playwrights, but it was mostly a way to either portray a story or to portray an idea of something or maybe just a poetic thought, like I said. And I've seen a shift, in this. And the shift is somewhere along the lines of, you know, we have the newer generation, because I'm 30 at this point in time while I'm making this. And I've seen, it's kind of, how kids today react to what I grew up with, and then what the people before me grew up with, and then what they grew up with before that. And the way that people emotionally react to things today, it's a lot different. A lot different. Because I reflect a lot back on a lot of movies, especially movies from the 90s and early 90s and the 80s and even some from the 70s and the 60s. Anything before that was more just kind of more fiction than real life. So I mean that's pretty much how theater has gone as far as story writing has gone. I keep repeating myself. But playwriting is a skill, and honing in on that skill is really hard because you have to take a lot of things into consideration and a lot of factors. And with the shift that I've noticed is that they're not really, I'm going to move my camera, they're not really taking those things into consideration. They're more okay, well, we're just going to make this this, and this, so we can just get it out there, and the people are just going to eat it up because they just want entertainment. And it's no, that's not how it is. And so with that, I feel that TV has been ruined. I feel that movies have been ruined. And we're stuck in this cycle of just repetitiveness, and it's annoying as shit. I mean, think about it. Would you want to go to a movie that you've seen once 20 years ago and then just a rendition of it now, or B, would you rather go see a movie that is unique and has its own premise and style? And I would choose the latter of the two personally, but I'm not really a huge fan of remakes. I kind of despise them. I think it's uncreative and uninspiring and unmotivating and theft. And I think that it's not really artistic to go and take somebody else's creation and make it your own and say that it's yours because it's your perception on it. And it's like, wow, there's no imagination there. Like, what? You know, I don't know. I have an issue with that. This, by the way, is Dutch Brothers. I live literally less than a block away from one, and this is $7.25. But it's worth it because I bought this 2 hours ago, and I'm still like on this. But there's no way I can drink this much frozen. Okay, drink. I actually really like this stuff a lot. It's a so they have this drink called the Dutch Freeze, and it's just basically like their coffee with like milk and like some sugar, and then they freeze it, right? But they put it in this like they blend it first, so they put it in a blender and then they freeze it, and it's like this slushy mix. And then I asked them to make the Annihilator drink, which is I think it's a hazelnut and like chocolate, and then I have them put like chocolate drizzle, and then like caramel drizzle, and then like whipped cream, and then like chocolate and caramel drizzle on top of that. I love coffee. I've been drinking coffee since I was 5 years old. I mean, maybe I've just been an addict my whole life. I still can't finish this. It's so frozen. I'm trying to mix it. I keep getting hair in my nose. That's why I keep doing this, because like I have like short little hairs, and it's like I have this one stuck to my mouth. Oh, my lipstick, man. I'm the type of person that would just like smear it. Whatever happened to Roeper and Ebert? I don't even know. I used to watch them like on TV when I was a kid. And it was really funny because like I was like so into like what they had to say, because like they were like a lot of times they would like agree with each other, and like, oh, this movie's good, that movie's good, you know. But then they would disagree, and then it's so funny sometimes like what they would say. Too bad we don't have TV like that anymore, man. Where people actually took like theater seriously, acting seriously, their career seriously. But now we have like, I mean, it's always been there, but we have like this industry where there's like a bunch of people that are just like super fucked up, and they do fucked up things to people, and now they're getting caught for it, and it's like, well, that's a fucking given. So, so another thing I want to talk about, I never really have told anybody this. I think maybe I've told my boyfriend this, but it's something that my grandmother would talk about like quite a bit because of my last name and like who I'm related to. So I know in a couple of my videos I have mentioned that I am related to quite a few people that are famous, quite a few evil people, and quite a few geniuses. So Um, in relation to theater, who I'm related to is quite funny, actually, because he was a funny person. And when I was a kid, I really liked the movies that he was in. And after he died, and like I talked about him to my grandmother was like, "Yeah, he was related to you." I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, the family last name, you know." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm a Dixon, all right, and a Dixon. I'm sorry, my sleeve is this. A Dixon, okay, is a very prestigious surname, and Dixon has had a few roles in the history of this country as well as like theater, but that's not even where it goes. So Dixon is also related to the Williams family, and so from what my grandmother said, Robin Williams was related to me, and so uh, I mean that makes sense because he's a Williams, and like the Williams clan is like a part of the family tree of clans that I'm related to in Scotland because I'm part of the King Keith clan, and then the branch off is Dixon, and then there's Williams, and then there's like another one. Actually, there's like a couple more. But so basically, everybody in the Dixon family is related to me, whether or not they're blood related or like they're married into the family. And then the same thing goes for like the Williams family. So everybody in the Williams family is my relative, and whether or not they want to be, that is the situation. So I'm not trying to like get clout or anything like that. I just want to put it out there that I thought that was kind of interesting that my grandmother would tell me that. So it makes sense why I always thought he was like super funny. It's just kind of runs in the family though. I'm kind of funny too. I mean, they say he's Welsh, or he was Welsh, which makes sense because like I'm Scottish, and like the Williams family were Welsh, the Welsh part of the family. So I mean, I guess theater like has always been kind of close to my family in a way. And in my life, like I was in a few different plays when I was younger, like in I would say like elementary and middle school. I tried to get into theater in high school, but the class was just full. So my grandmother expanded me into having private lessons, and I did try to expand out of that, but it was a lot harder back then when I was trying to do it than like the way people can do it now today. I'm talking like 15 years ago. It was a lot different. So it's kind of why like I failed. It's not that I don't know how to do anything because I definitely know how to read a script. I definitely know how to write a script. I definitely know how to like produce something. I think the only thing that I'm not actually really good at is like editing film. I'm not really, I don't know. I never really had much practice like chopping film and like making it look good. Like I've always kind of just like shot things and then like gave direction to things. Like not really like I don't know. um I think theater um as in like plays and playwrights and like acting on stage, like I feel it's not what it used to be, and I don't think that it's even going to ever be the same. And it's okay. I accept that because I feel that every century and every generation of people, theater changes, and it has always been like that. And it's the same thing with like this network that we're on here. Like it's always changing. And I see a lot of videos where people talk about each other, or like, they critique things, or they, show off things or whatever. It's still evolving, and it's evolving from what it is, what it was, to what it's going to be, and what it kind of is now. So maybe not what it is, but from what it was. Um, so I really admire Tim Burton. And I admire him because he has a very unique style when it comes to what he does in Hollywood, and like how he portrays his image and conveys his message in his art and his productions. And so I feel uh, inspired actually by him. And so what I mean by that is I really want to make a claymation animation movie. And I know that I've talked about this in another video, but I had a lesson class. It was like a month long. I had a class by I don't remember her name, but she's like one of the producer ladies that works with Tim Burton, like his animator director or something, or maybe like I don't remember her title. I just know that she worked with Tim Burton, and then she like directed my animation class that my grandmother paid for. That was like way away, like far away from the house, like in another city, like 2 hours away. Like I had to drive to go take this class. So anyway, ever since that class, okay, I used to play with clay a lot. Like when I was a teenager, it's like maybe through the last decade when I was like in my 20s, I wasn't really fulfilling my artistic desires, or like my skills weren't improving because I wasn't using them. So I haven't really worked on anything since I was a teenager, really. But I really like I'm having this deep feeling, this want to make something worthwhile, and something like Tim Burton's work, in the way where he captivates you and enthralls you into the story, and you're kind of just like, they're mesmerized basically. And when I took this class, the concept that I had for like the short animation that I made um was actually bigger than like what I wanted to put on the film. But because I only had literally like a limited amount of film to shoot in like time on that film, I had to shorten it. So it's kind of funny. I have it somewhere. I have to look for the VHS, but like I shot it and it's a minute and like 27 seconds long, or something like that. And it's like a couple different things. But clay, like in the long run, like for this kind of production, is like expensive. And I'm being honest, like I have nowhere near at all the capital that I need in order to even start this kind of production. And it sucks because like I have these skills that I'm basically just like sitting here on, and I'm like, man, I have all these ideas, and I wish I can just like I can just like sculpt things and like, like create things with my fingers and just like, like create these little creatures and figures in like, these environments and these scenes and just like have like these little worlds, that I physically create with clay. And then like I can make a story with it, like with film. And it's the most exciting thing ever. Like I shit you not. Okay, like YouTube's cool, It has a lot of different types of media on it. And you find like a lot of people who are into acting, and then you're into those people who like to make animation, and you're into those people who like to, do puppets and stuff and like use that kind of like, um theater. But I never see anybody do like real stop motion animation with claymation. And so like it's a very specific field, and it's a passion of mine. And oh man, like I literally don't have anybody to work with. Like this is something that like I would have to have like at least a team of like 5 people to work with, only because like there's a few things in production that like I would have to be doing myself, and then other people would have to be doing in order to put it together, because that's just kind of how it works. Um I feel like with this is so dry right here. This is healing, by the way. This was a zit and I popped it and just that hair was gone. Now it's like, okay, I'll stop touching it. But it's like, okay. Man. Like, I don't even watch TV. Like, I mean, that's kind of like how bad, excuse me, Hollywood has gotten. um, it's not. I mean, what movies have you guys watched? What movies have you seen? I haven't seen a movie in a theater for a really long time. But, I mean, I don't even know what to talk about as far as movies go. I could start talking about other movies. But I really want to, like, at least analyze this one situation we have in front of us right now. And it's like everybody here on fucking YouTube, okay? And my point behind that being is that everybody on here is just kind of immature, you know? Like, y'all talk about each other and you can't come up with something more creative. Like, I don't understand how somebody like my age could be into like high school drama rather than like making their own production for something with the skills and the quality of production that they give in their videos. Like, I mean, I see where it's going, okay? But I also see where it could go and where it could have gone if you didn't do this, 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 and this. And the reason my channel doesn't go anywhere is because I did so many things in the beginning a different way than everybody else that I kind of put myself here in this corner where I can kind of like observe y'all and like be like, oh, you know. So it's like, okay, well, let me tell you, okay, what I think, all right, about your acting skills. Okay, let me tell you what I think about you. Okay, because it's not even about that. Okay, it's about the quality that you give people, and like what audience are you aiming for? Are you aiming for teenagers? Are you aiming for children? Are you aiming for adults? Because I know that generally, okay, you're speaking and then you like are talking to people who understand adult language, but then you have to watch your language because you have teenagers and children watching you. So there is actually kind of like a limit. There's a fine line, what you should be as an entertainer, especially like on YouTube. And if you're sitting here making drama videos about like each other, you're not really you're not really conveying messages right at all, and you're definitely not conveying things to an adult audience. It's mostly mentally immature people, even if like they are physically an adult. Like a lot of the people are not mentally, and that really does need to be taken into consideration, because I see people who have to constantly defend themselves in videos and sit there and talk about how they're not this and this, when they don't really need to even do that in the first place, because nobody owes an explanation to anybody for anything ever. And if you do, it should be in private. It should never be a public thing. You know, the whole reason I made a video on like Eugenia Cooney is because I've been sitting here for a long time watching videos on her, and I've talked to her directly a few times, and maybe not like in DMs, but I know that she's read what I've said. Okay, she's conveyed it by liking my stuff on Twitter. So, I mean, that tells me that what I say is conveyed, and so regardless of however it's treated, or however she reacted to me, or however the world reacts to me, or how you react to each other, just know that no matter what choice it is that you make, you're still making an impact, you know, and it's a detriment to this community, because I shit you not, within the last, I don't know, like 5 years of being on here, like I have been on here longer than that. I've been here for almost 10 years. But I'm saying, like, there are so many times where the community guidelines had to have been changed because people have done stupid shit. And it's like, come on. Like our real freedom of speech is being taken away from us. Like oh, fuck. What is it? I wanted to call it Parliament, but it's not Parliament. Obviously, it's Amendment 13. Okay, and like the passing of it in the UK, and the stipulations on that, and like that's gonna affect YouTube, and nobody cares about how that affects theater. Nobody cares about how that affects each other as people. I mean, it's been talked about for years, but that doesn't change. Excuse me. I think that doesn't change, okay, the fact that people need to mature. They need to mature. Okay, because if you're not going to mature, all right, and you get stuck in this one mindset that you have when you're like on this platform, and you keep making the same type of content over and over, that's how a channel dies. And I have literally sat here and watched many channels die because they do this. And this is why I don't release content on this network. This is why I am living the type of life I am, and I haven't benefited from the community, and I haven't tried to monetize my channel, and I haven't done other things to it, because I see the hypocrisy and I see how immature the adults in my community are. Like I said before in this video, I am 30 years old. 30. 30. I have lived here for 3 decades. Okay? I'm old enough to have some people in the audience as my children. Okay? Think about this, all right? So, if that is the case, okay, would I have these conversations with my child if I had a child that age about these things that I see on YouTube? No. Would you? I don't know. But with that said, what are you thinking about now? How do you think about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, does it actually make sense now? Actions speak louder than words? Because even if you say something, the actions behind your words still speak louder than those words that you're speaking. And I don't see how people are so naive that they don't see that. And Greg, okay, Onision, he's the biggest pile of shit on here, okay? Because he's the one that literally trolls people into liking him, okay, and then like disliking people that don't like him, and then going out and basically like kind of building up this community against the people that he speaks out about. And you know, this kind of almost happens with every single person, but like with his toxic community, like they're so mind warped. They don't understand what's even going on. In my opinion, he is just a sick individual. He's like 5 years older than me, and he talks to girls half my age. Okay? Half. Okay? That's not a joke, even. All right? Like, we all know this. Like, he talks to somebody that's old enough to be my daughter. You know? Like, and I know that I don't really look like somebody that, you know, has kids. I mean, I don't have kids. I've never really had kids. I just kind of yeah. So anyway, sorry, I was looking at my hair. I just kind of feel bad. I feel bad for the people in the community. I feel bad for everybody in this community who talks about each other, because like here's the thing, like, and I'm gonna just like sit on the fence about this because I don't want to say anything fucked up. So the thing is that everybody has their demons and everybody says fucked up things and people do fucked up things. And whether or not it's public or if it's in private or if somebody does it with ill intent, it doesn't really matter, because whatever character they're portraying is for their image and it's something that helps them with what they're doing. Okay, so even if they were like that behind the scenes, it's nobody's business. I mean, people are allowed to have their private lives and like say things whatever they want behind closed doors because they have freedom of speech, you know, and not being allowed to implement that is robbery of like my integrity as a person and an American and somebody that has the right to freedom of speech and free thought, and having that blindsided and censored like that is just, it's dumbfounding. I like, you know, I'm not saying anything because I don't even know what to say. At this point, it's just crazy. And like, I'll keep supporting the people that I support, you know, and like, I'll stay sub to their channels, you know, and I'll like their videos and stuff. But like, I feel that there needs to be a change, and I kind of want to do, like I said, a project, and I kind of need help with that. And I don't want to be like the rest of these fucks on here, because it's like, all right, well, they got their thing going on and they are just like all about that business. Okay, so like I am going to go and do something else. Okay, the phoenix rising out of the ashes. I know I trailed off in this video, and I know that, I was talking about theater in Hollywood, and I started talking about, like, YouTubers. But my whole point being is that it's all tied together in that genre, in theater. Um, I guess it's just different networks, different ways of doing it, but it's kind of all relative, it's all the same. They're all out there for the same mission, pretty much. I mean, they might say that they're not, but they are. And it's obvious. And people will go and say things, and then they'll try to turn around like it's the 1970s and say they didn't say it because people think they're not being recorded, which I think is idiotic because this is 2019, and by now we should have hovercrafts, but we don't. So, anyways, we just have smartphones, touchscreen technology, which I've been waiting for forever, VR, virtual reality headsets. Oh God, those are amazing. I have one. It's like, okay, let's get into that. All right. So, like, I'll make a claymation film. I'll do stuff with my VR headset. I'll keep making videos like this, talking about things, just random things. I mean, I don't really have much of an audience, but I don't know. I guess I never really cared about that, but I still want to put this stuff out there so you guys at least know, where I'm at, what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do. I'm still alive, still breathing, still healthy, not near death. um, so it's great, okay, that I'm in kind of like this state of existence where I'm kind of dealing with stuff in my life, trying to get it together, and I'm struggling. But at the same time, I have certain amenities that I didn't have years ago, and that I probably wouldn't have given certain situations in my life. So it is what it is. And I'll sit here and I'll talk to myself on camera the whole time. All right. And I'll tell you why. All right. Because I'm a narcissist. Okay. And this is like a clinically diagnosed thing. Right. And so is my borderline personality disorder, which is it's a real thing. Okay. And I don't know if you can tell by my mannerisms that I have it, but I fucking have it. Okay. It's like not a made up thing. And by the way, I just have to say, Premiink doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Because I've literally had this since like I was diagnosed at 8. Okay, I was diagnosed at 8 for having PTSD and borderline personality disorder, psychosis. Okay, so I mean, I've literally been labeled a psycho since I was 8. So for 22 years, I've had this diagnosis, and he's going to sit here and say that it doesn't exist. Please, Premiink, would you please tell that to my psychologist that diagnosed me? Would you please tell Dr. Wolf, who is a clinical board psychologist who's been working in the industry for like 40 years? Could you please tell him? I mean, I believe he's actually still a psychologist. From the last I heard, he still works in the field. I decided to braid my hair today. Okay, did this like loose, like this is called an English braid. I did a loose English braid with like just this piece that is not braided, and then like more braiding, and then I got split in, so it kind of comes out there. And I like more where it's not braided, and then more braiding. Yeah, split in. I got split ends really bad, but see, like I do tight braids. I can braid anybody's hair. You don't got split ends. It's gonna look a lot nicer than that. I'll braid people's hair. I can do fish bones. I can do English. I can do French. I can do Dutch braids. I can do Swedish braids. I can do cornrows. um, I can do singles. I can do macro braids. I can do micro braids. You can do anything to your hair. You got a mohawk? Let's dress it up. I can do that too. I'll make it look really cool. I need to do something about these split ends, man. These are just ugh. Like that's when you know. That's when you know you need to see. You need to see a barber. Cause that, I mean, that's looking like a brush. Brush doesn't look like that up here. Look how shiny my hair is. See, I got nice shiny hair, shiny hair, shiny and soft. See, and I'm 30. Okay, I don't have any gray hair. I have no grays whatsoever. I don't have wrinkles. I don't even have wrinkles. Okay, no gray hair, no wrinkles. I have like okay, I get acne sometimes, but like I'm just gonna look young for a long time, I guess. I'm trying to find my brush. I don't know what color my hair is. It's like a really hard color to describe, but it's like a golden blonde, but it has like red in it. So it's like strawberry blonde, like dirty dishwater strawberry blonde. It's my natural hair color. I haven't dyed my hair for a really long time. I haven't dyed my hair for like 8 years. Last time I dyed my hair, it was I want to say it was purple. I was dark purple. Man, I'm getting tired. It was nice talking to myself. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.